The content of this podcast has not been evaluated by Health Canada or the FDA. It is educational in nature and should not be taken as medical advice. Always consult a qualified medical professional to see if a diet, lifestyle change, or supplement is right for you. Any supplements mentioned are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please note that the opinions of the guests or hosts are their own and may not reflect those of Advanced Orthomolecular Research Incorporated. Welcome to Supplementing Health, a podcast presented by Advanced Orthomolecular Research. We are all about applying evidence-based and effective dietary, lifestyle, and natural health product strategies for your optimal health. In each episode, we will feature very engaging clinicians and experts from the world of functional and naturopathic medicine to help achieve our mission to empower people to live their best lives naturally. Welcome to Supplementing Health. There have been a lot of shifts that have taken place throughout the pandemic, and one of those was the movement to online fitness. During the first half of 2020, fitness apps grew by nearly 50%, and virtual fitness market is expected to see a compounded annual growth rate of more than 30% by 2026. Today, Jess McDowell, KINETICSWEAT founder and fitness lifestyle model, is here to discuss the shift with me to online fitness. Welcome, Jess.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So let's dive right in. And like anything, there's pros and cons to online fitness. There's the camps that love it and the camps that kind of would prefer not to do online and would prefer in gym or in-person classes. And so one of those objections that I personally have heard a lot is the equipment requirement. Some people feel like it's a huge financial burden and space burden to have the equipment that they feel they need. Especially with the supply chain issues and limiting accessibility that has come up in the last few years. From your perspective, what investment is actually required to start something at home online?
Well, honestly, it truly depends on that person's goal and what they're working to achieve. As far as online fitness goes with equipment, I mean, a lot of what you can do to get to a place where you're confident in your body and feeling strong can be done with body weight and really minimal equipment, especially it being 2021. You know, we have a lot of fun new equipment inventions, that are affordable. But for somebody that's starting out that is wanting to do possibly 2 to 3 times a week of a live stream class or monthly on demand, I mean, it really could just go from anywhere between $75 up to a couple hundred. Now, if you're looking for doing, more virtual training where it's a one-on-one basis, but it is virtual, I mean, that could also go up to $600. So truthfully, it's what that person is looking for, the type of workouts that person is needing for their body.
So for your company, KINETICSWEAT, you offer online fitness programs. Have you noticed a change or created a change in your programs with this increased shift to online that helps your clients increase accessibility?
Yeah, honestly, you have to just be creative. You want to keep people staying on trend and relevant. Just because it's virtual doesn't mean that you're not in competition, obviously, with all these other virtual apps and virtual influencers, but as well as, gyms and studios. So just getting creative. Honestly, for myself and my business, my clients are the most important and the sky's the limit. So offering weekly and monthly memberships that include live stream options where people can show up with you, as well as those on-demand options for those that are on the go or that have a bit of a busy or different schedule. Clients are automatically signed up for 3 of my classes weekly. So that eliminates having to sign up and having to, commit yourself. You just know every week, okay, I'm working out with Jess on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. As well as knowing that all you have to do is kind of show up with those added bonuses of the unlimited, on-demand access. So if you're going to be traveling for a few months or a week or two, and you're not going to be able to get into a few classes or wherever you're going, you're not sure if those classes, will be for you, you can take me or take your virtual fitness wherever you go. And I mean, a lot of the categories for live stream as well as on demand, can range from 15 to 60 minutes. So I think that's another really great opportunity as far as the online fitness platform, whereas a lot of studios, having to maintain overhead of being in a studio or a gym, as well as the trainers and the clients of having, strict 45-minute, 60-minute classes.
So what are some of the challenges that you find that come with online instruction then?
So challenges, honestly, I personally am a very detail-oriented trainer and person. So when I'm speaking or when I'm in a live stream class or if I'm filming for on demand, I don't find that it's difficult for me to properly instruct with form, movement, how fast or slow someone should be going. I also know that there's a time and a place for people to really push themselves, and also to knowing that when I'm doing a virtual workout, that if I can't see them and they know that means I need to make sure that I'm going up to the screen, that I'm letting them know I see you, that I'm letting them know I hear you. So that part for me, I don't find difficult. What I do find difficult is more on the sense of, you can't help it if Wi-Fi goes out. You can't help it if your microphone decides not to turn on. So some of those technical glitches that happen can be a little bit challenging for online instruction. And then on top of that, obviously, there are people that don't consider virtual fitness to be beneficial or don't even consider it to be a quote unquote real business. So having to really kind of put yourself out there and explain yourself and to really market to the right people, but always constantly staying relevant about what you're talking about your business by showing people, your on-demand platform. So making that, open and, not open, but making it available for people to preview. Having $5, for instance, I have a $5 Thursday class and I talk about how you can't knock it till you try it. So they pay $5 only to take the virtual class. So some of those barriers that you probably wouldn't see normally when you're doing more of a gym or studio, because your people feel more comfortable when they're going in person versus, okay, well, if I'm paying this person, I'm working out at home, why am I paying for it? It should be free. But they don't understand the billable hours, that we're not being billed for, we're not being paid for. And a lot of the on-demand platforms are one person. I'm my own trainer, so I'm not only prepping for all the classes, but I'm doing my website, my branding, my marketing, the in-person privates that I have. I'm prepping for both sides. I'm filming. I'm, working with my PR. I have my clients that I have to be there for constantly as well. So there's a lot more aspect to it that people don't understand, and you want to be able to explain that, but also at the same time not take away from what really is most important, and that's the fitness aspect of it all.
So one of the benefits to being in person that people get is also like proper adjustments, right? To make sure that your form is correct. When you're with a trainer, they can help kind of move and guide your body to the position it's supposed to be in. So how do you overcome that when you're doing it digitally?
For me, I just know when to stop doing the workout and really talk and explain versus, doing the whole entire workout. I know that a lot of trainers, when they're doing virtual, they feel like they have to do the full workout, which is really great. And it gets a good workout in for you too. But knowing that if you're stopping and taking a deep breath and explaining during the 30, 45 second, 1 minute, round that you're doing, that you're taking that time and you're visualizing all those people in front of you as if they were in real life, and you're looking into the camera, you're looking in the eye, and you're explaining, okay, you want a flat back, your core is engaged, slow and steady fluid movement. This isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. I'd rather have you get 15 really good reps out of this round than 30, reps that you're crazy all over the place. Explaining, okay, when we're using these dumbbells, have your wrists a certain way, elbows in. So it is actually a lot of work to make sure that you're constantly reminding and staying on top of it, and not just saying it once or twice, but doing it throughout the whole entire workout. I mean, it's really no different than if you're in person in a group class where they're packing in 15 to 30 people and it's one person. It's kind of the same thing, but you're doing it virtually. So you're just really having to be a good trainer and being expressive.
So kind of going old school here, but back when workout videos were like on VHS, maybe showing my age a little bit, but the recommendation was always to watch the workout before you actually tried it for the first time yourself. Do you think there's any benefit to that kind of recommendation still now that we've moved into this more common digital age where it's a little more at your fingertips than it used to be?
I wouldn't say to watch the workout before you do it. I mean, luckily, if you're doing an on-demand class, you have the option to pause, which is really great. So if you're somebody that is able to hold yourself accountable, or for instance, with some of the on-demand options that I have, I am, at your constant contact in a sense. So, being able to watch it, a part of the round that we're doing or that set and seeing what's going on, and then, starting it again and going over it is great. But if it's something to do with like a live stream class, honestly, you got to just kind of throw yourself in there. I don't think that anyone should be intimidated on not being able to do a live stream class because they're unsure or afraid of the unknown. It's just kind of like going into a studio or a gym for the first time. You're going to have those kinks that you have to work out and those areas that, you're unsure of or you're unfamiliar with, but being able to get in front of the trainer and talking to me. So reaching out, asking questions. Hey, is this the right, pair of gliders that I should have? Should I go a little heavier on my dumbbells? I always explain that too in class, to have at least 2 sets of dumbbells because you do want to push yourself. I do also offer, with, like I said, the $5 Thursday. I think that's great when trainers do that virtually, where they can have a class that's not a regular price of a drop-in or not a package that they're paying monthly, where someone can come in and try it out and see if they like it. So that's kind of where I feel like it's beneficial in a sense. And then also too, I forget to always mention this, social media. There's a lot of times where I'll post on social media via reels or stories, posts, highlights of, what happens in class, what to expect during class. So you have to just be really vocal and explain. You're constantly explaining and answering questions, but just like anything else.
So then, yeah, cueing becomes much more important as an instructor when you're doing it virtually versus in person.
Honestly, yes, 100%. I think it's actually a little bit more using more brain power, because you're really wanting to make sure that these people are enjoying class, that you're being yourself and you're being, you're bringing in life and humor in, that you're not just like some virtual robot, because you are human still.
Yeah, I can imagine it can be challenging at times when you're used to doing an activity and then you have to think about how you can explain that activity rather than just doing it, right? Making sure that it's in a clear way that someone who knows nothing about it could understand and follow through.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are times actually where I'll ask family members or best friends of mine, I'll just give them a free class to sign up. And I'll be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or when I go into, because I do in-home private training, that's kind of like the whole point of like the Kinetic Sweat, is that it's, you're available, or I'm available, and go where you go. And I'll even kind of run off a few things with my clients that are in person, because I know my clientele and I know the mass majority that are looking for the virtual fitness. And then that way I can, know better of how to probably explain something nicer or easier, or maybe I shouldn't use this type of equipment for this type of workout. So it kind of just all is like trial and error sometimes too.
So in your opinion, is there anything that people shouldn't be trying for the first time via digital tutorials?
Honestly, anything that is high cardiovascular output, so where you're getting into a high anaerobic stage or doing some Tabata, or as well as, plyometric lifting, which could be like Olympic lifting or what people would call CrossFit, just because that requires you to possibly have a spotter, as well as if you're getting to that cardiovascular output of that anaerobic stage where you're getting, 90% to max of your heart rate, you could pass out. There could be serious, repercussions for that. And depending on the type of health that person is in. So I always suggest, when it comes to high intensity interval training, that's different. That is okay. Of course, if you're doing high intensity interval training, functional fitness, sculpting, bar, A cardio class that's more like low to medium impact, things like that is totally fine. Also too, if it's somebody that is extremely unhealthy or has been sedentary or overweight, I still do recommend them to do that, because a lot of the classes that are virtual will explain. But yeah, so it's the trainer's job to be descriptive in the class descriptions, just like anything else. So for me personally, I would just always recommend, if it's a high anaerobic, Tabata, weight, Olympic, plyometric, CrossFit lifting, to always make sure that you're able to do that and there's somebody there spotting you or with you. And then obviously, of course, just making sure if you have any injuries that you're, cleared by your doctor, if you've recently been pregnant, things like that, you're able to go. But that also comes with signing a waiver. So that's another situation.
Now, you mentioned accountability, which is another super important piece for many people to have a successful workout program or fitness program in their life. So what are some of the tips you have for staying motivated if you don't have that gym membership or that scheduled class to keep you on track?
Yeah, honestly, it just goes by the type of person you are. So if you're eliminating any type of gym, if you're eliminating the studio atmosphere, you've automatically already probably have gained 30 to 40 minutes back onto your day. So I like people to always think about how much time and convenience it is, but also to what the output and the physical gain that you can get from it. It's always nice if you're signing up and you're new to a virtual program, to have accountability by signing up for classes or paying ahead of time. So that way, if you paid and you put that money out, you're invested in it, you're more likely to show up. Of course, it's great to have, a fitness buddy or a workout pal, which, with virtual fitness, it's really cool because you can have somebody that lives halfway across the world. So it might be somebody that you loved working out with that you can't do it normally because they don't live in the same town as you, but now you can, which is really great. Another thing is, on my end of keeping people motivated via challenges, my weekly picks that I'll do for like on demand. So that way clients will see, oh, these are like the picks for this week that, she really likes. So that gives someone more of an incentive to do it. Or, 1 week, every day, this is what you're doing. I'm really big on people writing things down. And I always go on a plan of like who, what, where, when, why kind of thing. So every day you should know what type of workout you're doing, whether it's strength or cardio. How long is it going to be? Where is it? What you're going to wear. Do I need to, is it virtual? Is it in person? Things like that. And then that way, if they know everything, they're more inclined to do it because there's no excuses or there's no fear of the unknown or there's no major decisions that have to be made. So truthfully, it's really not anything different that you'd be doing going into a gym or going to a trainer or going into a studio. It's just more or less you opening your laptop or tablet or whatever screen that you are and committing to it.
And do you think it's important for trainers to help foster that sense of community online, or is that more up to the people doing the workout, in your opinion?
Gosh, I always go back and forth with this, and I'll be honest. I think it's up to that person. There are some people that want to just work out in their own piece or work out, get it done and move on. And then there are some people that only go to the workout for the community and for that, interaction, because that might be the only interaction they have. So I do think for a virtual platform that there should be that sense of community, whether it's through Facebook groups, whether it's through, online community of being like, hey, I'm going to have one day where everyone comes on to a Zoom meeting and we all chat, or like a workshop, for example, or if it's more something, a local meetup or a pop-up that to be happened that way. So you're kind of hitting on everybody's needs and wants. I do think no matter what, there should be an aspect of community, but most importantly, a relationship between you and the trainer. And that comes in, in play with me. I want any person that is working out with me, whether it's on demand, live stream, in person, to know that I'm accessible and I'm here to provide you the tools and instruction. So I'm here to serve you no matter what. So I let them have my email address, my phone number. I've yet to have anybody abuse it, thankfully. But at the same time, I think that also gives a sense of reasserting, I think, in a sense that they have somebody, even if they don't use it.
Well, that makes sense. Now, for people who kind of thrive from the energy that comes from those group classes, is there a way to recreate that feeling at home for those like that are doing the live streaming or the on-demand classes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always say, create your own space, just like anything else. Just like if you have a home office. I mean, a lot of people are even making their own home coffee bars now. I mean, since COVID, there's a lot of ways that people have recreated their home life to make it more functionable for them. So knowing that you have a little area, like this is my workout area, have your own mat that makes you feel good, have your active wear that is practical and that works for you, the right type of sneakers. With your equipment, if you're eccentric, you can always get different types of dumbbells that are bright and colorful. Or if you're more, neutral, you can get that as well. So just making it a place where you go that is also separate. So if you are more likely to be distracted by looking at your kitchen, then I would suggest maybe not having your, fitness area next to your kitchen. Or if you are more likely to be distracted by whatever it is in your home, to move it away from that. And if you're unable to do that because of the size and space, luckily you can go outdoors. So maybe this is something, where you have your few, items of equipment that you put into a little, fun area, you bring it outside, you get your workout on, you get that fresh air, and then you come back inside and put it away wherever it is. But just making sure that you feel not only your best with the workout, but also too with, your props or your equipment and your activewear. So definitely having your own space.
Now, the influx of people moving to online fitness was huge at the early onset of the pandemic, early 2020 through to probably Q4 of 2020 and beyond. But have you noticed that there's been any drop in that interest since gyms have started reopening and Pilates studios and yoga studios and all these places that people used to frequent pre-pandemic?
Yes and no. It honestly depends on the type of city and location that you're in. For example, I live in a very small town, so we have a set amount of gyms and a set amount of studios, and people like the aspect of community, but then also too, they realize that they have, kids, or now they're going back into the office, or now they have more responsibilities because sports are back, or their personal groups are back with things. So being able to have that time added back onto your day by being able to eliminate having to travel, having to pack, having to prep, having to wonder where the kids are going or who's going to take care of this or that. So I think honestly, the COVID helped fitness as far as making it more of an online virtual platform, making it more accessible to people, even some people that might not have been able to ever do fitness because of cost or not having transportation or being intimidated. So I think if anything, this is going to be something where it's going to end up being $1 billion industry. I don't see it going anywhere. I'm sure that some areas of the online world have taken a hit, but a lot of people also now are doing fitness where they'll go in person and then they'll also have their virtual side too. Especially those that are busy. And like, let's be real, everyone in this world claims that they're busy no matter what, because it's everyone's favorite word these days, that and being, having convenience. So I don't think that anyone that has been doing virtual fitness since 2020 has really taken a serious hit where we would have to reconsider, our business platforms.
Would you say there's anything that you've learned through this shift that you will carry forward?
Yeah. Knowing your worth, knowing that you can reach a greater amount of people and provide them with something that not very many people can provide in a sense. For me, my whole goal with Kinetic Sweat and what I wanted to do was provide women affordable, attainable, and practical fitness that actually works and that they can incorporate into their day-to-day. So for me, that's what I strive to do every day, and to be better at that and to really be able to reach people near and far. I don't want anyone to think that they can't do it or that fitness is not for them or that they can't have a healthy, strong, confident lifestyle because they were born a certain way, genetics, mental health, the drive, fear of the unknown. Anyone can become strong and fit as long as they put in the work and understand that it's going to get hard. And there are peaks and valleys, but once you click with that right trainer and once you get onto that path and you start seeing the results, you start feeling good and you start showing up, I mean, it's really hard to kind of go back from that. And that's what I really want everyone to understand and know. And I think with virtual fitness, that's the most gratifying thing that I ever can have.
Well, I know personally I'm a big fan of the virtual fitness. I find it has helped me keep a more regular schedule when it comes to my fitness, which I think is a huge barrier for a lot of people. And like you said, it has helped make it easier to schedule that into your day when you are quote unquote busy, whatever that looks like for you. So for our listeners, if they want to learn or work with you, learn more from you, they can check out your offerings on your website, KINETICSWEAT.com. And then you were mentioning that they can also find tips and tricks on your Instagram, which is at KINETICSWEAT by Jess, correct?
Yes. Feel free to go to either one. Reach out to me. My email's all over both social media and on my website. I'm always available. I love to chat, even if it's just chatting, getting to know each other, the industry, wanting to just make a friend, but I'm always available. So check it out. There's so many different great options. And, I'm also a really fun trainer too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I found this conversation very interesting and I really appreciate you taking the time to share your knowledge with me.
Yes, thank you so much. I've had a blast, and I hope that everyone, gets a lot of good information out of this.
Thank you for listening to Supplementing Health. For more information about our guests, past shows, and future topics, please visit aor.ca/podcast or aor.us/podcast. Do you have a topic you want us to cover? We invite you to engage with us on social media to request a future topic or email us at marketing@aor.ca.